Coming up on this weekend's edition of This Week in Agribusiness, we got together with a few thousand farmers in Orlando, Florida. Hello everyone, welcome to this weekend's broadcast. Yeah, we're at Commodity Classic, the annual event bringing together growers from the Corn Growers Association, soybean producers, sorghum, wheat, and the equipment manufacturers, including the folks at Case IH who allowed us to come in and join us in their booth. We talked with the new Chief Executive Officer of the National Corn Growers Association, Neil Caskey, about some of the issues the corn growers have right now. At the top of the list, concerns about GMO corn blockage going into Mexico.
That's our top market, and we just want to make sure that it remains open for our business into the future. Obviously, we're having some challenges with some of the latest decrees that are clear violations of the U.S.-Mexico-Canada agreement. We're pleased with the news out of Washington this week that the U.S. Trade Representative has announced technical consultation with Mexico. That's a step in a very long journey that we're going to what we're going to see through to the finish, and we believe this is ultimately going to be resolved in a dispute consultation, and that will prevail. We have the facts and the law on our side, and we're confident that we'll continue to be able to meet Mexico's needs well into the future.
Are you getting any help, perhaps from within in Mexico, the industries that have been so accustomed to having product from the United States? They certainly have to be somewhat friends of the U.S. corn producer, right?
Absolutely. The trade in Mexico, they love our product, they want our product, and they need our product. And so if you ask them, you talk to them, they are our biggest fans, and so we appreciate that. Obviously it's just a complication, with leaders within the government that we're dealing with now, and they're violating the trade agreement that was signed in January of 2020. The first decree that was announced trying to ban GM corn was in December of 2020, so that the ink was barely dry on that trade agreement, and here we are, violating USMCA, which was a wonderful deal for us. It included provisions on biotechnology that would preclude things like this, which is somewhat puzzling. But another decree was announced as recently as about a month ago on Valentine's Day, effectively, that accelerated the ban to kind of make it effective immectively. And so I think that was probably what, if you talk to the administration, I think that was what really kind of compelled them to act the way they did this week. So we're encouraged by that decision from the administration, and we'll be working closely with them to make sure that we see this through to a positive conclusion, because our growers deserve nothing less. Mexico, to your point, Max, is a wonderful customer, and they want to continue to be that way in the future, and this will help us get us there.
There are so many complications with our relationship with Mexico right now, whether you're talking about border security or importation of illegal drugs, security of Americans traveling in Mexico. Does that make this issue even more difficult, or does it hold promise for perhaps resolving quicker this problem the corn growers have?
Well, when you just think about just the scope of our relationship with Mexico, there are some big challenges and problems in front of us. This doesn't need to be one. We're talking about corn that should be allowed to flow into that country, and so if I was the Mexican government, I would not allow this to be a problem. In the scheme of things, this is a very small thing.
So what's the backstory here? Why has it become such an issue? Why has the president raised this as such an issue down there when there are so many other things that are lightning rods?
That would be, I would love to hear a good answer to that question, Max. And we haven't heard a good one. I know that there's some speculation that's trying to prop up some of the smaller corn producers in Mexico, but they just can't meet their needs. And if you think about, they're saying it's about human consumption at the end of the day. And so, we get that. If there's a demand for non-GM corn, then we have markets and other channels that would facilitate those transactions. You don't need to violate a trade deal to meet that demand. There are easier ways, far easier ways to be able to do that. So as to the reasons why, it's hard to say, but this is an easy thing to resolve when you think about all the other things that we're trying to manage with our relationship with Mexico. Corn should not be a problem.
Are you pleased to this point how the administration has stepped up on this issue, or would you like to see more?
So thankful that they acted this week, and we would like to have seen that a little bit sooner, but we do have bipartisan support in Congress as well, and so this is one of the issues that have really brought members from both sides of the aisle together in support of their corn farmers, and we're grateful for that. I mean, I think that just kind of shows you, how people feel about trade and corn in particular. So we're encouraged by that bipartisan support. We're encouraged by the support that we're seeing from Secretary Vilsack in particular. He has been a very vocal advocate for us, and we are grateful for that support and leadership. And we will keep pressing until this is finally resolved.
Neil Caskey, Chief Executive Officer of the National Corn Growers Association. By the way, that's a new job for Neil. He was named the CEO of the National Corn Growers just a few days before coming here to Commodity Classic in Orlando, Florida.